Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome and Merry Christmas. You're going to need a big mug of herbal tea to save your throat from getting as sore as a fevered Tasmanian devil, whatever that means. Right, let's talk about the Karita game, which is actually going to be a very important element to this lesson. Believe it or not, might seem like a throwaway type of exercise that you might find in a typical elementary school lesson, but actually this is quite important, and I'm going to explain why. So up until now, we've been exposing the kids to all the phonic words, the CVC words, that is to say consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay, now at this point, hopefully they'll be beginning to know that the name is A, the sound is A. The name is E, the sound is E. So they've done all the basic A, E, I, O, U words, hopefully. If not, don't worry, but they should have done quite a lot by now, if not all of them. If you're really lucky, perhaps you're going into the irregular words such as, I don't know, air, or war, or tar, something like that, ale, those kind of crazy words. And as you can see in the video, I'm lucky because in this particular case, because I have a big room and I have a big desk in order to play the Karita cards. If you've never played this game before, happens to be your very first lesson teaching English or playing this game, don't worry, it's this simple. So there are many ways, many versions of the game. In this particular video, I have stage 1 and stage 2. In stage 1, all the cards are put in nicely in a rectangle around the edge of the table, and this means that the cards are easily within reach, and it gives kids a chance to run around the table. And in stage 1, I spell out the word. I don't say the word, and I be careful not to say the word. I want them to start reading it. So I'll just say C-A-T. Hopefully you start with the hands on the heads. It doesn't matter, it's not that big of a deal, but if you can start with hands on heads. Now, in the case of this video, I'm starting with the youngest age, and you've got 3 kids and 3 levels, right? Low, medium, and strong. It just turned out that way. It's just lucky that way. You've got the kid in the light blue t-shirt, he's strong. The kid in the marine blue t-shirt, he's new. And the kid in the stripy shirt, he can actually do it. And towards the middle of it, you can see that it really turns around. But as the guy in the light blue shirt points out, he just doesn't pay attention. He doesn't look properly. But when he starts looking, when he starts feeling that he's losing, suddenly it kicks in and he gets it, which is quite often the case. So persevere. There's that word again, persevere. So again, stage 1, just read out the letters. Don't say the word unless they really don't get it. And if so, say the answer is cat, for example, and then let them find it. But the goal for stage 1 is really just listen to what 3 letters are being said and let them find it themselves. Stage 2, not surprisingly, is you just say the word, and you might think, well, that's easier. Why are you doing that in stage 2? But the thing is that you have a lot of words that are similar sounding for anybody, even native speakers, but especially for non-native speakers. For example, hat and hot, cat and cot, I don't know. And it's pen, pin, pan, that type of thing. So yeah, there's lots of others that are very similar. Tap, pat, And when you've got kids shouting over each other, they have to. What's really good is that they have to really pay attention. So I'm going to show you. Hopefully you can see I'm going to fast forward now to the next grade. So in the next class, I've deliberately invited a lot of kids in this one. They're doing some makeup lessons. But it's a good chance for you to see how it is in a large class. I'll talk about small classrooms in just a second, but for now. So with this class, I put a few more cards on the table. As you can see, it's not all round. It's not just a rectangle. Now it's more bara, as we say. It's more random, and cards are diagonal, upside down. So that's totally fine for this age group. It's a really great game for this age group. And again, start with hands on heads. One thing I should point out is that the best advice I can give you, one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is try, if you can, to have games that don't have losers, which is really tough when you think about it. Because games are things that kids like. Toys and games. We all know this. Much better to play a game rather than study, right? However, one thing that I've learned and that you probably know already is that the downside of playing a game is that there's a winner, and if there's a winner, there's got to be a loser. And the word loser is something we want to, the concept of loser is something we want to avoid if possible. It's a very big subject, this, but what I like to do is try to have team games wherever possible, whenever possible. And a golden rule for this is avoid, if you've got a class of 20, don't have 2 teams of 10. What you should do is divide it into 3, right? Even if one team has an odd number, just put the weakest student into that big number. Just try to divide it evenly use your common sense, divide the strong kids and the weak kids up evenly. And at the very least have 3 teams. In this case, it's 4 sets of partners. That's what I've done, which is way better because the more teams there are, the less sort of negative emotion there is when it comes to the team that lost. And there's more of a scale, and it's good to avoid that. If you just have, again, let me repeat, if you have 20 kids, don't just have 2 teams. That's an awful scenario, because you're just going to have one team that's going to show off and gloat, and you got the other team that's going to feel terrible, and there's always going to be an angry kid who thinks one kid's cheated. It's just a nightmare. But the more that you can divide it up, the less you're gonna focus attention, and that's really what we want. I'll go back to, I mentioned small classrooms. If you're unfortunate to have a small classroom, don't worry. You probably can't do this, although, if you really put your mind to it, you have all your students stand up, and you put all the desks together, or put them aside or something, stack them or something. But if you really can't, for whatever reason, you think it's just too much hassle, I totally understand. If you can't do this type of karata game, what you can just resort to is just simply, you're the quiz master, you hold up the cards, and just read them out and pass them out as points. And if you've got a student that's really high level or quite high level, or a returnee kid or something like that, don't have them in the team. If they're considerably high level and it's too easy for them, have them be the quizmaster, and your job is to monitor that the quizmaster is doing it right. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you, and I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Again, stage 1, spell out the word, for example, cat, C-A-T. These kids are very fast. Then if they don't get it immediately, ask them to say one more time, please, and then you could phonetically say it, k-a-t. Then if they still don't get it, if they really don't get it, if it's like an unusual word, you could say it. Just say, the answer is cat. Boom, get it. Okay, good. I also like to have a couple of cards out there that's like the entire alphabet, just as kind of a bonus cards. Anyway, that's about it. I think you get the idea. After you've done stage 1, might be a good idea to just calm down a little bit, do a little bit of the writing, and if you've got a chance to do stage 2, or vice versa. I hope this has been of some use for you. My name's Mr. James, and I'll catch you in the next instructional video. Merry Christmas.